pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, tonight we are going to begin our meeting with Mrs. McLean presenting the upcoming Tri-Up events to all of us. Where do you want us to stand?
Sure.
Right here?
Yes, that's
okay. All right. So I'm Mrs. McLean. I'm counselor at Columbia, but also Tri-Up director at the high school. We started 2 weeks. We're in our 3rd week of practices for the spring musical, The Little Mermaid Junior, and it's going swimmingly. So going really well. Kids seem like they're having fun. I feel like every time we turn around, we've got new crew kids joining. And they're doing great. Probably before Christmas, it was sometime this past fall. Well, backtrack a little bit. In my head, I had this idea that, it'd be fun sometime to do like a summer theater program for our kids. Honeywell does it, Wagon Wheel does it. But I'm like, it'd be a great idea, but it's a lot of work to put something together. And Sienna came to me with this idea of hers in the fall, and I'll let her explain a little bit more, but she wanted to revisit the idea of something for our elementary students in a theater world. And so I was like, well, what if we put our 2 ideas together and you direct and I will just support? And she has run with it. So I will let Sienna and Colin and Grace talk to you a little bit more about their plans.
Good evening, and thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. I'm here to share a proposal for a summer theater program we've been working on for a little while now, designed for elementary and middle school students in Rochester Community Schools. This program would offer a low-cost, local opportunity for young people to participate in a theater program during the summer and would end with a fully staged production.
The main purpose of this program is accessibility and getting younger students introduced to theater. Many students love theater but don't have the financial means or transportation to attend expensive or distant summer programs. In similar or rural areas or communities such as ours, opportunities in the performing arts can be limited, especially when school is out. This program aims to remove those barriers by providing a welcoming, affordable, and inclusive theater experience close to home.
So the benefits of a summer theater program reach far beyond the stage. Students gain confidence, communication skills, creativity, and discipline. They also learn how to collaborate, problem solve, and work towards a shared goal. Theater builds connection and belonging, allowing students to form meaningful relationships while creating something they can be proud of.
This program is not meant just for the students, the community benefits as well. A locally produced show enriches our cultural life, provides family-friendly entertainment, and creates a shared experience that brings residents together. This program isn't just about putting on a show, it's an investment in youth development and community pride.
So the next thing I want to talk about is how we're going to get funding for the show. So funding for the program would come from community fundraising efforts. Fundraising activities could include bake sales, donation drives, community nights, or sponsorship from local businesses. These efforts would keep the program low cost or free for students who would be participating. We actually recently just did a fundraiser at the high school for Valentine's Day, where a group of students and I did singing telegrams. We raised over $200.
The program would be open to any child who has completed 2nd to 6th grade at Rochester Community Schools, regardless of prior experiences in theater programs. Our goal is to create an inclusive environment where beginners and experienced performers alike feel welcome.
So this program would be led by 2 co-directors and then my crew leader, is what we're going to call her. I'm Sienna Goodis, a senior in high school, and I'm planning to major in elementary education with a minor in stage directing. I've completed 2 internships working daily with children and have been involved in theater since 5th grade, performing in 8 productions, including lead roles in Addams Family, The Music Man, Pistols and Posies, and our upcoming show, The Little Mermaid.
I'm Colin Williams, who is also a senior and plans to major in theater arts or musical theater with a minor in music theory. I have extensive experience in both child development and theater and have performed in productions such as Mary Poppins Jr., The Addams Family, Alice at Wonderland, and The Music Man.
And then, of course, we have our lovely Mrs. McLean, who is helping us put our dreams together. Together, we bring strong leadership, performance experience, and a genuine passion for youth theater.
In closing, this summer theater program would give students a creative outlet, strengthen our community, and make the arts more accessible to local youth. We believe this program has the potential to create something meaningful, not just the performers, but the entire community.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for presenting and for your idea and for your dedication. I love the idea, and when Mrs. McLean called me and talked to me about it, I love it. So thank you for leading this. Thank you for wanting to take it on and for embracing it. And I shared, I don't know if there's a way we can link it with our summer daycare program, those types of things, but we'll do everything that we can to help support you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for me?
First of all, thank you. That's awesome. I'm so excited to hear this. This has been a hole in the since Miss Piercy left. We haven't had somebody that has been able to take on elementary, and so the fact that you guys are looking to do that, and that it's fabulous. I would just say, first of all, I think that the community grants, the Northern Indiana Community Foundation, you would be excellent fits for that, and so I'm sure that Mrs. McLean and others have already had that in as fundraising thoughts, but if not, just make sure you check that out. And then also, if possible, it would be great if there's a way for you to plan for longevity, because that's wonderful. We hope you guys come home. Maybe you'll come home and you'll just work here, that'd be perfect. But in case that isn't the case, it would be wonderful if you're starting this program that you're able to build other people that can help carry it on as well. But congratulations, that's exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things I thought about too. You know, hopefully you've got some juniors and maybe some sophomores that are going to get involved, and this wonderful idea that you have, hopefully it can go many more years beyond this. So great. I'm looking forward to it.
On a side note, the Singing Telegram fundraiser was very successful. Don't ask me how I know, but
I will share videos. 6 or 7.
put that away, Mrs. McLean. But I think I had Justin Bieber sung to me at least a minimum of 7 to 9 times throughout the day, whether I was in the hallway, my office, classrooms, you name it. This guy was a shadow, and somebody paid big, and glad to help out, buddy. No problem.
Mrs. McLean, before you sit down, please. As we were having conversations, I got this amazing email from Mrs. Haig, and I would like for her, if you would, to stand up and share. And I just thought it was a perfect combination with you being here tonight, and then that email popped up. I am so appreciative. We always hear the negative. It is so wonderful to hear some of the positive going on in the district. So thank you for your willingness.
Of course, thanks for inviting me. Am I okay right here?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Erica Hegg. I am the local office director for the Fulton County Department of Child Services. As Jana said, I'm here to brag about Brenda. A few weeks ago, we were in a situation where we had a Columbia student in our office. We had taken them from parents, and parents couldn't identify any friends, family, any connections to help care for kiddo while they couldn't. And my first call was to Brenda. And within minutes, she had thought of some connections that kiddo had within the school. And within hours, she had identified someone who was willing to open their home to kiddo. So this is a huge win for kiddo and for us. Kiddo was able to stay at Columbia School, stay within the community, stay close to parents, and that gives us kind of a leg up in our efforts to get kiddo back to parents. Need for foster parents is a huge thing, especially within the community. It is getting harder and harder to keep kids local, so that was a huge win. And then I think just a few days later, she came through for us in a big way again. We received a report regarding a local family who is experiencing homelessness, and we had a lot of internal conversations about how to approach the family, because we are scary and we really just want to help support the family, give them a leg up. So when we were talking internally, we decided our first call needed to be to Brenda. And when the family case manager reached out to Brenda, she actually offered to go with the family case manager to be part of that initial conversation with the family, because she had built a relationship with them and thought that she could help kind of calm some of that fear and help us get our foot in the door, and it worked. They are willingly working with us right now. We've already connected them to some community resources and we're making some progress. So that was another huge win in a really short time span. There's tons of little things that have accumulated over the years. We communicate great. She will text me, call me, email me. We troubleshoot. She'll ask me questions and I turn to her. So I really just wanted to highlight the relationship that I have built with Brenda and with other school counselors within Rochester Community Schools, because it's not like that everywhere, and that is really the relationship that we strive for. So I'm here to thank you because you make my job easier.
Thank you. So,
You're welcome.
And you guys reinforced to that family that DCS is not scary, that they're there to help. So.
And I have a little something for you.
Just, oh yeah. Just another side note, Brenda has a theme song in our building. If you remember the final scene of Karate Kid, the original one, the song "The Best Around," that's her theme song. We play that when she walks in the building, across the
That's
board.
only because Guterman's kids started singing. Oh, thank you. I didn't know it was going to do that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. That was fabulous, very inspiring as always. We have our consent items.
You guys are,
Yeah.
you are most welcome to stay. If you want to leave, you're welcome to do that as well.
You won't send us.
Some people aren't sure when they can.
Yeah. If you want to exit stage
Thank
left,
you.
feel free.
Thank you. Thank you for your leadership in that.
Yes.
You can't go there.
Okay, we have our consent items. We have the approval of the minutes from January 19th, regular board meeting, the approval of the minutes from February 3rd. These are all 2026. Regular meeting, and the approval of the minutes from February 3rd, 2026 study session. Are there any questions?
I have a couple corrections.
Corrections?
For both the study session and the regular meeting on February 3rd, Ethan is not listed as present, but he was there. I mean, he's listed in the voting and so on, but just so that those match, Ethan needs to be added. And then in the study session, I'm quoted as saying that we should check with Mr. Snoddy about whether to stay with Neola, and I can't imagine that I said that we should talk to the vendor about whether we should stay with the vendor. He's not doing a good job if he tells us we shouldn't stay with him. So
Right.
I would just like that either struck or that we should look at. I just said that in that discussion, I mentioned that we should look hard at staying with a vendor instead of just going off completely on our own policy. But I know sometimes people go back and read those, so I wanted to make sure that that was accurate.
Any other questions or comments, corrections? Okay. Yeah. Just making sure Katie wasn't on. Any questions or comments by the public? Hearing none, I will accept a motion.
I move that we accept the consent items as corrected.
Okay,
Second.
by Mark. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. And then we have our financial report. Katie? you wanna
So,
introduce
I'll just start with the education fund. Cash balance is $49,891.44. The debt fund is $521,204. And the ops fund is $221,819.15.
say as everyone, just a quick, I'll say housekeeping. As everyone can kind of see, is it ops? Okay. This is kind of a new format, and one of the things that Mark and I had talked about was making sure that, going throughout the year, the board can see that, there are operating expenses, and then both the revenue and the expenses. When you're talking about payroll, it actually includes FICA and Medicare and Medicaid. There's a lot more that goes into it than just that direct hourly, direct salary. The other thing is that in February, so we're, right now we're at our February meeting, and, I thought you were gonna keep the next month. No, these are all January, sorry. These are all January statements, but then you'll see February, this would be the expected. So the expected expenses, the expected revenue on each of these. Now, not saying that won't change, but these are just, I'll say, the projected numbers, just so that the board members can kind of, and the public can see that actual projected revenue and expenses for the next month. So then at our meeting, following meeting, you'll keep seeing that throughout the year, as well as, again, all of the other benefits and salaries and total personal costs, and then the purchases. So you'll kind of see this broken down in a little bit different way. Before it was all put together, but now you'll actually see that. So any questions, please get with Miss Katie, and she can walk you through that.
Thank you for this more thorough sheet. I guess when I'm looking, like, for example, at the top of the education fund, if I was understanding correctly, Casey, you were saying that the estimated should be in there for February, and it's not? I mean, it's zero? Or if I'm not looking at that
Nope.
correctly, at the top?
Yeah, that one is zero. I was looking at ops, sorry.
That's okay, but would we,
It will be. I don't know if it didn't copy and paste. I can resend it.
okay, that would be good. Just,
It's going to be the projected estimates. Almost every single month is projected around the same. There's just a few months that are different, and that's just because of different expenses. So I will make sure that that's in there.
I think it'll be reflective too of when we have 3 payments. You'll better be able to track that and how that changes the expenses and how we need to plan and budget for those months as well.
Any other questions on, say, the numbers or even the new format? Okay. Thank you, Katie. We also have the claims totaling $1,020,534.48, and the approval of the payroll totaling $906,000, $906,164.97. Any questions on that? Questions by the public? Okay. I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mark,
second?
second by Jenny. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, next we have our action items. So we have the approval of the baseball camp at Jeffersonville High School and the varsity team staying overnight near Columbus, Indiana. Any questions on the field trip form that was submitted?
As I read it, it looks like it's Easter weekend, like staying overnight Saturday and then watching games on Easter Sunday. Is that correct? And if so, is that a buy-in from all the families?
So Coach Good, I actually just talked to him before I came over here, has emailed all the families and has gotten a lot of positive feedback. So what it is, they'll go down and they'll play on Saturday. And 2 years ago when they went, it was a great team building bonding thing. Then last year it got rained out, so they didn't go last year. So it's kind of an annual trip that they're trying to do down there to play some of these bigger schools that they met and set up themselves at a coach's clinic. He is open to if the school board doesn't like it. Right now, none of the parents have said they are against it. He's had others reach out and say they're all for it. But again, he's open to whatever you guys are comfortable with. They are aware it's over Easter. They will be home mid-afternoon Sunday because they play Saturday. Then they were just going to stay and do the team bonding stuff on Saturday night. So he's open to whichever avenue you guys are comfortable with.
As for families wanting to bring their students home or student athletes home Saturday night, would they be able to do that?
If they fill out that form, we have allowed that in the past for sure.
I don't have any issue with it. I guess the only thing I would have an issue with is it being absolutely mandatory, as in, if one of the students' families said, no, this is very important to us as a family to be together during this weekend for, religious belief reasons. I just wouldn't want that held against the student as far as missing that opportunity, missing the field trip. But I'm assuming that's required.
It's 2 varsity baseball games. So we play a double. The reason they're not going Friday and staying, we play a doubleheader at Caston Friday night. And to leave and get down there real late defeats the whole team building concept that Coach Good's going for. So, like I said, he was open to whatever the board's comfortable with. The kids and the staff really enjoyed 2 years ago. We're real disappointed it was canceled last year because of Mother Nature. They were looking forward to it, but yeah, we can definitely make it to where families want to grab their kiddo and head on back for family commitments. We have that form in place already, so.
Ultimately, I think it's up to the families. I don't like this as a precedent that we're over a major holiday having a field trip. I understand that spring sports are in a condensed time, and maybe there isn't another weekend that is available. I know we have 2 weeks spring break too, so I think as long as the guardrails are in there that people can say no. I would be disappointed as a parent, though, that my child would then need to choose whether they were with us for their normal holiday time or with their team. But ultimately, it matters most what those families think about it. So just wanted to check on that.
I agree. As a parent, my husband and I really push that, once you start, you finish, and you're absolutely committed. And that is a tough decision to say, well, you make the decision if you want to go with the team or you want to stay with the family. Not crazy about the precedent. I agree with Jenny, though. I really think ultimately it's up to the families. I just think, and Easter's kind of one of those odd holidays where it moves around.
Sure.
And it's kind of hard to plan for that 2 years in advance, with the schedules. So I get that. Mark, Kyle, thoughts?
I'm okay with it.
I think it's up to the families. I think we're making assumptions on that the players are celebrating this holiday, so I don't leave it up to the family unless when they approve it, in my opinion.
Okay. Thoughts by the public? Okay. I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Kyle, second by Mark. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. And we have the approval of the 3rd and final reading of the policies. We've talked about it in 3 different meetings, and they have been published on our agenda for 3 different meetings. So, does anyone have any questions about any of these policies or want to discuss them in depth? Anyone in the public have any questions about the policies or want to discuss one in depth? Okay. Barring no concerns, questions, I will take the motion.
I move we approve these policies as listed.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Kai. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. We have our monthly donations for January 2026. We have a donation to RCSC for the amount of $118.46 for student needs by the Kroger card members. Questions or comments about any of that? Thank you everyone who participates in that. I don't know that they really advertise that a whole lot anymore.
Yeah,
You
it used
know,
to be a bigger thing.
we should really put that on our website. I mean, really on our new website, you know, saying, I don't know that people really pay attention to that, but it's very much appreciated, so thank you for everyone who has that. Barring any questions or comments, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mark,
Second?
seconded by Jenny. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Accept the donations. And we have our personnel report. And was there anything on here, Janet, in particular that you wanted me to read? Say this has also been posted on our website, and it's on the board behind me. Anything? All good?
Yep, we're good.
Board members, anyone want me to read this verbatim or any questions or comments, thoughts?
I'll leave it read. I can read.
Public, any questions or comments? Barring none, I will accept a motion.
Move we accept the personnel report as presented.
Second.
Motion by Jenny, seconded by Kyle. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Okay. We are now up to our department heads and the principals to present the first semester data.
So I will turn it over to Megan and the team. We've got some exciting data to show you where we ended up first semester.
So, yeah, time for the exciting stuff.
There's some good stuff on it.
On the district data. And I think you guys have copies of this, PDF copies. I'm just going to pull up my own working copy that I use every day. Nope, just stay right at the top there. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is our, I put beginning of year, but beginning of year, middle of year, DIBELS data. So this is our early literacy skills, looking at comprehension, looking at nonsense words, looking at letter sounds, all of those things. So starting with kindergarten. You can see DOY is the beginning of the year where they were at, and then MOY is the growth that they have made and where they are currently. Actually, this was this assessment was given. Some of it was before Christmas, and some of it was right after Christmas. So if we were probably to run this again, we would see even more growth by these students. So kindergarten definitely had quite a bit of growth there. Looking at first grade, you can kind of see the same things there. Scroll down.
Would you remind me, is it the blue is,
Okay, so the blue is above level, green is at. So we want to see our kids in that blue or green section.
always one year?
Well, they just say they are approaching level there.
Okay.
And then your red would be below.
And are there different skills tested in each
Yep,
place?
so
like where
there's
that
about-
first grade is kind of stagnated, it's
Yes.
different things.
Yes, and I think I didn't print out that sheet for you again. I think I've given it to you guys several times. I just want you to think that, oh my gosh, she thinks that we're, that we don't know what she's talking about. But yes, there's several different subtests that go into there. So they do letter sounds, there's like a letter fluency, they do nonsense words, they do a fluency read, they test their comprehension, and so there's different things at different grade levels that we look at there. But it's all literacy skills, literacy based. And we test this through 4th grade. So You can kind of see where third grade's been and fourth grade as well. We're really seeing some nice growth there in fourth grade. Questions on our in-class data? Okay, scroll down. All right, stop right there. So this is going to be our beginning of year to middle of year math data. So we've kind of done some things differently. This is our iReady math data. We are only testing K2 this year because 3-8, now I'll get to the test that 3rd through 8th grade are taking. But we just needed something for K2. So this is kind of their math data. We started a new math program this year. It's going very well. The teachers were nervous about using it. It was new to them, but I think they're all really getting in a good swing of things. Principals would probably agree at the elementary, and I've heard very, very positive feedback that the teachers love using it. It's very hands-on for the kids. They feel like the kids are getting a better handle on early skills, better than they ever have before. It's kind of what I'm hearing. So you can kind of see in kindergarten what window 1 was, and this is where we have mid or above grade level or early on grade level, 1 grade level below. Obviously, we're not going to see 2 grade levels below for kindergarten because they don't even have, that's not even possible for them. But you can see that they've really made some nice growth in kindergarten, in first grade, and if you look at second grade as well, they're all making really good growth on their math skills there. Questions on that? I will say that next year, this will probably look different again. The state is coming out with I think they're going to, from what I'm hearing, they're going to give us a list of assessments that we can use for early math skills. So, we don't know what that's going to look like yet. I even signed up to be on that committee. I haven't heard back yet, so who knows where they're at with that. But I do know that our teachers don't love this assessment, but it's worked for us for a little while. I do think what the state may go with will actually be better for our students anyways. So it'll be a learning curve on the adults, but I think it'll be better for the students. Okay, go down. Then we get to our iLearn checkpoint data. So we are in the full swing of all of our checkpoints. Again, this has to do with iLearn. In the past, we've just done 1 iLearn test every year, but now we get to do it 4 times a year. So 3rd through 8th grade, they give us kind of a window that our students can take the assessment in. So each grade level is kind of testing. They've looked at their pacing guides and put this test in where it's been best for each grade level, and I think that's really it working out well. So you can kind of see their first quarter, so our first checkpoint that we took, I've given the percentage for passing for all of our 3rd through 8th graders, and then I also listed the state average there. The nice thing that we have found, and I think our teachers actually are enjoying kind of, I know if we're testing our kids, the test only taking me about 30 to 40 minutes or so not too terribly long, but they are getting some good data from it. The feedback is immediate. I know that my own kids, they pretty much know where they've scored before they even leave class that day. So it's very immediate. The teachers can really use it. They are using it to drive their instruction. They're using it for remediation groups, all of the things. So we're seeing some really good results for that. So this first piece that you're seeing, let me back up. We can give it twice. So we give it the first time. Anybody who has passed or anybody who's passed will go on to enrichment type activities for those kind of skills or keep moving on. Anybody who didn't pass, we will do remediation with, and they will take it again. So the numbers, the percentages that you can see, we have given assessment twice to those kids. We are above state average for math in every single grade level on our first checkpoint. I think that's pretty incredible.
Moving on to our second checkpoint there. Oh, nope, go back up. Our second checkpoint, some of our grade levels, so that window just closed at the beginning of February. So some of our grade levels have not taken the second opportunity yet. They're still in the midst of doing remediation. So as soon as those tests have been given again, we'll get new data and I just input it right in here. So, but I do have the state average listed there as well. Pretty much above average. A lot of our scores are coming in very close to or above state average even the first time that we take it. So I think what we're doing is working. It's looking pretty good for us in math. All right, scroll down a little bit to look at language arts. Language arts, you can kind of see the same thing. I will tell you in third grade, that would have been the first, a little scary there, but it was the first time, okay, brand new third graders taking that assessment. That was nerve-wracking for them. We did not do the checkpoints last year in third grade, so it was new for our third grade teachers. Everyone learned a lot from that first assessment. And as you can tell, the second time that they took it, it was better. And I'm sure that after their second opportunity, it'll be even looking better for us. So I'm not, yes, it looks terrible, but I'm not too concerned about it because it was their first time, and we have made some adjustments.
Will we get to see the updates then?
Yep, so the next time we share, yep, I'll put it all in. So I just kind of keep this is a Google Doc that and we all kind of share, we all have share in it. But every time we take a test or a retest or whatever, I'm constantly updating it. So, yep, it'll be on there. But you can see we're pretty close to at or above state average for each of those checkpoints as well. Just kind of where we want to be and what we want to see. Questions on checkpoints? Okay. PSAT data, I did leave our fall 2024 in there. I'm just going to kind of continue this on so you can kind of see where we're at, where we're going. So if you look at PSA and PSAT 10th grade, those would have been 10th graders in 2024. So you can see growth, definitely seeing some growth there. And then I know you guys have already seen the SAT data, but then I will include our new SAT data for spring of 2026. That's coming up in just a couple of weeks. Okay, and I do know Oscar and I are working on some SAT prep with our teachers. I'm getting ready to work with the English department. We're going to have them sit down and take an actual practice SAT test. We're going to work on breaking down those questions and what the kids are seeing and what should our rigor look like in the classroom and all of those kinds of things. So that's some hefty work that they're about to do. I know I looked at it and I was like, ooh. Okay, we're going to scroll to the right. Scroll, yeah, stay on this page, but go over this way. Okay, go up. Okay, so scroll that way. These are our corporation iLearn proficiency results. So the last time I would have shared this at the end of last year, probably last June, we didn't have official results yet, but we do now, and I'm just kind of keeping track of each year, so I'll add this next year on, but this is our final summative test and where we were in relation to the state. So for language arts, grades 3 through 8, we were at 41%, and the state was at 40%, so right above. And then for math, we were at 42%, the state was at 42.1%. I think that's pretty darn close. And then biology, we had our passing rate was 44%, and the state was at 46%. So I was happy that we were pretty close in each of those areas. And I think I included this for you, but I'm going to pass this out as well. This is something Cassie had started a couple of years ago with her building, and then I have taken and added on to it. This is a comparison chart for how Rochester is doing each grade level to all of our surrounding schools. And so if it is highlighted in green, that means we are beating or above where each of those grade levels are at each of those corporations. So to me, this looks pretty good. I like what I see here, and I feel like we're kind of leading the way in all the schools in the area. So kind of a neat document. Anybody else want that? Okay, just going down to iRead. Okay, nope. All right, so the first one is how we did in 23-24, the first section there. The next section is how we did 24-25. So last year, second grade, we had 54% of our second graders pass iRead the first time that they took it. The state was at 58%. We had 19% of our students on track. The state had 17% of our second graders on track. So 54% of our second grader, our current third graders do not have to take the iRead assessment this year. For third grade, we had a 90% passing rate overall, and the state was 87.3% passing rate. As always, we're shooting for that 95% goal of our kids passing. Questions on any of the district data? And honestly, I think I've covered most of everything for all of the buildings. I don't know if Lucas has anything special ed he wants to add on. But overall, I think our teachers and our students are working really hard, and we're seeing some good gains and seeing some good growth from the kids.
Any questions from the board? Principals, Lucas is the director, anything that you want to add or share specifically?
On my end, similar to what we did break down that area, after we get through this iRead and iLearn, I'll break it down again. In looking at the previous year in special ed, we are increasing, those that pass or doing better than the year before. And that's the entire goal. Yes, my crew knows that passing those state tests are very hard. So some can do it. The main goal here is pass if you can, but definitely improve where you were the year before. And it's happening.
Thank you so much. Seeing the gains those are pretty heavy gains that in some of those grades and some of those. That's definitely a testament to all the hard work by everyone. So, great job.
Principals, anything else? Oscar, were you getting ready to say something?
Yeah, well, we always want to boast about our 100% graduation rate last year. That's a bar set really high that I'm not going to promise we're going to hit every year, but we definitely strive for that. So I'm going to give a shout out to Steph and Tara. It was Counselor Week last week, so we celebrated them, but at the same time, they deserve that credit. I also want to give a shout out to Jenny Snyder. She got the Career Development Professional of the Year Award at the Impact Awards down in Indianapolis, Noblesville. It was a weird way to get there, but we got there. That's a huge deal for her. The hard work and effort that she's put in building relationships with our local businesses and placing over 90% of our kids is huge. I love the fact that as we're sitting at a table talking to people, she tells everybody our goal is to get 100% placed next year. That is also a lofty goal, but I do love the fact that we're reaching for that lofty goal to provide those skills for our kids when they leave. And that's, again, I get to talk about it, but she should get full credit for that, along with she's training somebody right now to help with that as we develop her other pathway. Because as was said in the nomination I created for her, she not only does all that, but she also teaches our early childhood pathway and takes our kids over to Columbia and Riddle on a regular basis while still doing all those observations. So we appreciate all that hard work and opportunity she's providing to our kids.
I just want to
It's true.
I was just going to thank everybody for participating, those that came for Schools to Watch, and huge shout out to my entire staff, from the teachers to the IAs to the secretaries to the custodians, lunch, everybody. They met with everybody, and everybody has a hand in that, and just very, very proud of them.
We talked with Cassie today about celebrating before our next board meeting, that maybe we can honor those at the middle school and have them in for a celebration so that we can recognize that achievement, because that's huge. It's one thing to be designated, it gets harder and harder each year to be redesignated. So
Right now, there's 2 middle schools that have been redesignated 4 times, and we're one of them.
Wow. Congratulations.
That's great.
it is. Jason, would you like to share out anything from our last meeting till now that you've been working on?
Just kidding. All right. So in the past month, I'll go through this quickly, but obviously we've continued on with our zebra zones. Those are going really well. We had zebra zone winners, 10 of them, actually 11, because one couldn't make it to our last thing. Took them to New Bianos since they're back up and running. And the kids learned how to make pizzas and had a really good time doing that. They're always very supportive of taking little kids into a pizza kitchen and letting them make a mess. But the kids had a blast, and they always enjoy that. Art banner projects, we just completed all of that with our students. So both kindergarten and first grade. I think we've got pre-K too as well that did a couple of those. We're doing skating in PE, and there was just an article in the paper not too long ago, last week or something, about that whole process and what that looks like. There's some good pictures of our kids in there learning how to skate. We had a game day in pre-K. Game days a day, really, it's not just to play games, it's really to get parents in, and we had a really good parent turnout. Parents come in and play the games with small groups and the kids. So a real good way to get the parents in the school, develop some relationships with them. Pre-K does a good job with that. Progress reports went out last week, and we had our pre-K parent night. We're already starting to enroll our pre-K kids for next year, and at this point, I think last I checked, we had 31 kids enrolled in pre-K for next year. That's about normal numbers. At this time, I mean, it's February, starts in August, so we'll get to our max capacity like we do every year in our pre-K. Upcoming things, we just continue with all the data that was just shared. We continue to progress monitor all of our kids. It's a constant thing that we're constantly doing. Doesn't necessarily show on those data sheets that you get, but our teachers are progress monitoring their kids regularly to make sure that we're focusing in on the individual needs of those kids versus just giving them a blanket type instruction. We're also continue to hold our data meetings, which we have once a month at the grade levels, and that's when the grade comes together. We look at the whole grade level data, talk about struggles that we may be having, how we can fix those, or successes that we're having, and how we can share those and pass those along to other classrooms. Those data meetings have been going really well. Credit the teachers for and the CIA coaches for putting those together and participating. You can just sit there and not be involved in it, but that's not what they do. They get together, they talk, and it's real good conversations. We have Junie B. Jones coming up on March 2nd, and that is our middle school showing. So middle school always invites us to come over and get a preview of that. Kids love doing that. We have Read Across America going on. And we will participate in that in our first grade, and that's March 5th and 6th. And then March 12th and the 13th, we've got the mobile dentist coming in, and thanks to Lucas for always getting that set up. Real good program for parents and kids that have a need for that. So, other than that, that's what we got going on.
Any questions from Mr. Snyder? Mr. Burnett?
A couple things here. Real quick story. I was in charge of dinner last night for the kids, so naturally I took them to Wendy's. And with that, my youngest, he got a large Frosty, which apparently he's never had before, and he was saying, this is the greatest day of my life. But he said, and then he took it back. He said it's the second greatest day because his first greatest day was getting called up to Zebra Zone on the stage. So shout out to Columbia. That really means a lot to those kids. Second story just happened. I usually print off my agenda for this. This is a grocery list. So I thought I had it. I don't. So we'll put that back in the pocket and go from memory. So our yearbook sales February 27th. So that's a big deal. Parents, if you want to order yearbooks, February 27th is deadline there. Mrs. Walkman's been doing our Kids Heart Challenge. So kids are raising money to combat heart disease. So they've been working on that for the past month or so. Mrs. Beal is prepping our second graders for their concert coming up. And that is, I want to say March 12th. I know it's at 7 o'clock at the high school. Doors open at 6:30. So I remember that. And very important, our second and third graders have iRead coming up. That will be the first week of March. So that's a big, big week, obviously, for us as a corporation and as a school. So, and thanks, Megan, for helping us get prepped for that. And that's what I can remember.
You also did a very good circuit board project.
Oh, thank you. Yes. A shout out to REMC. They come out every year to do the circuit boards with our fourth graders. It was a tremendous success. We had more parents in the building this year than we've had in the past, and that was awesome because it helps with the kids and getting it all going. But that's an awesome project that they do every year. The kids are super proud when they can get that light bulb turned on. So that's pretty cool. So thank you, REMC. They do a lot for Riddle throughout every single year, so I really appreciate that. So, yep, thanks, Sarah.
I have a list, yeah. I brought one.
Yeah, better double check that.
I know. Okay, let's see. Back from January, our fifth grade team, shout out to them. They won Jana's JCP photo contest. We have the trophy, so step it up, guys. We've been having some success opening the pool, so kudos to Jana and the board for letting us open the pool to the community. That's been going well on Sundays with lap swim and open swim. Lots of Zebra of the Week lunches with the principal lately. If you watch our Facebook, everyone loves DQ. So I might be DQ'd out and keep trying to get them to broaden their horizons and go somewhere else. But lots of DQ happening. We did celebrate National School Counseling Week, February 2nd to 6th. So shout out to Mr. Kramer, does a wonderful job for us. We did all finish the I Learn Checkpoint 2 Opportunity 2 with great results, as Megan shared. We did have 10 perfect scores in the building, so we're going to celebrate those this week with those kiddos. Then in February, we had two middle school band members, Naya Archibald and Daniel Khalil Roden, went to ISSMA, which is Indiana State School Music Association, for solo and ensemble contests, and they won gold, so congratulations to them. And then last week, we had all the Valentine fun. We did all the things. We had ducks, we had lip pops, we had crushed cans, we had Macho-Matic, and we ended it with a dance somehow on Friday the 13th, and we all survived. Then we did have our Schools to Watch visit. Once again, thank you to all those community members, business leaders, and everybody that came to help us with that. Coming up, we're going to host Kiwanis in the pool and show that off on Wednesday. Our RMS Theater is going to do Judy B. Jones. That's on February 27th and 28th at 6 p.m. at the high school auditorium. We have Mobile Dentist coming to RMS on March 4th. Our fifth grade will do their Performing Arts concert on March 10th. And then we'll culminate the end of the third 9 weeks with the RMS Talent Show and PBIS celebration on the 13th before spring break. Any questions? Any questions for Mrs. Murphy? Megan or Lucas, anything more that you two would like to share?
We got a few things. We have band and choir, solo and ensemble state coming up this Saturday and next Saturday. Excited for those kids, and I've said it a couple weeks in a row now, but Hope Shalley coming back and playing for them's kind of been fun. Ann Horban, Aubrey L. St. Martin, Aubrey Wilson, and Adam Reinhold were named Indiana Rising Stars. That's a nice honor for them. We celebrated Counselor Week. Girls basketball had an amazing sectional week run, ended their season well. We have 4 young men going down to Indianapolis Friday and Saturday, and Jackson Robbins, Lane Horn, Brant Beck, and Declan Gard. As AD Stone and I looked at that today, there's only about 8 or 9 schools that have more than 4 wrestlers going, and if you look at their enrollment compared to ours, what that program does is pretty impressive. Successful blood drive. I think the most units we can collect in one blood drive is 66. We had the opportunity to do that. We had 3 no-shows and 4 that, like, their iron or blood pressure is too high or something. So we collected 59 units this last time. So shout out to Michelle Maroney for her organization with the kids and getting people in to do that. The FFA ski trip's coming up. The job fair will be in April. We are taking RSVPs for that. Please email Mrs. Horn or Mrs. Atkinson. They can get you on the list and get you set up. Our juniors and seniors will come with resumes ready. It's that time of year. Graduation is upon us. We've ordered yard signs. Caps and gowns will be arriving in the next week or so. We have started all of that preparation. We also had Rachel Hazelby in, former teacher that now works for Purdue Extension in 4-H, to talk about AI to our staff on a Wednesday morning, then came and talked to 8th and 9th graders, and then came and talked to the juniors, sophomores, and seniors. She did a nice job with that, so we appreciated that. Some really good questions from our students, and talking about how it should be a positive in your life, not create negativity, which can be difficult for adults, let alone our kiddos. Coming up, big week next week's FFA week. Wednesday's tractor drive-in. We'll have the tractor parade out front of the school. We have the state vocal and ensemble contest. Kane Pearson's going. March 9th and 10th, mobile dentist. The choir concert's the 9th. The band concert's the 11th. Fedco first pitch competition. Mrs. Gertie and the kids are working hard for March 12th. And then we'll have the end of the quarter and spring break with intercession March 23rd and 26th. I did want to give RMS and Mrs. Murphy a shout out for redesignation. I know all that hard work that takes and how stressful that can be, so congrats to them. And then a huge shout out to Meg. I think she sells herself short sometimes in how much she's done for me with the 8th grade and the checkpoints, especially this time of year. We're getting ready to do second checkpoint for English this week and second checkpoint for math next week. I'm already trying to drag seniors across the stage, and so it's awesome when I have a colleague that can come in and help me ensure that all is running smoothly as I'm meeting with guidance and seniors and then trying to plan master schedule for next year. So I appreciate all that collaboration. Questions?
SAT's coming up as well. The same week as I read.
It's March 5th. The good thing about SAT this year is I have a junior, so I'm not allowed to be a part of it. I should have had more kids.
Thank you all for your hard work. Thank you. It really shows. Just want to remind the board that we have a study session on March 3rd. We'll be doing a walkthrough. We met as an admin team this morning in that walkthrough. Because of all of the testing you heard is going on, we're going to do the secondary schools on March 3rd. I'll work with the principals and get a specific agenda outlined into you, and then we will do a walkthrough of the elementaries in April. That will be right after the One School, One Book is launched. They have some fun activities going on then, and we'll do the walkthroughs in April of both elementaries.
Where are we going to start on the 3rd?
I'll work, oh yes, I forgot. We're going to start with at Cassie's building at 9 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for reminding me, Cassie.
So March 3rd is RMS.
March 3rd will be RMS and RHS,
Right,
but we'll start at the middle
starting
school,
at
yes.
right.
In their conference room there in the back for study session and quick meeting if we need to have that.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Speaking of all the stats, any word, I don't even really want to ask this, any word from the state on them getting all of their stuff, ducks in a row and
Yes,
fixed?
the dashboard is corrected,
Dashboard is-
everything is corrected on there. Everything is updated, so if you go to our GPS dashboard, it is all accurate information. Doesn't mean that it's up to date, because there are areas that are not up to date, but that is true of every school district across the state. But what is there is consistent with the data that we have, and is now accurate comparative data with other districts.
Do they ask, how do they update the dashboard? Do they require like quarterly submissions or quarterly through the school year, or is it?
It's called DEX.
It's what?
Called DEX. It's some magical data collection system that Kistler has to deal with.
But I think Mr. Shanehalls has been dealing with it too, and that there's been hiccups in that too.
Yeah, it's a mess. DEX, TIDE, and special programs, which houses the IEP and ILP, they had turned TIDE off because DEX was stealing information out of TIDE. DEX also takes information out of special programs and vice versa.
So when it works, it's great.
It's great.
So it's actually a live update.
It should be though, because it's like 2 years behind in places.
Yeah, there are some that are behind.
Yeah.
Well, all we can say is that our data now reflects what we have been tracking in-house. And our data that may be 2 years behind is also true and indicative of all of the other public schools across the state, that it too would be 2 years behind. So what you're seeing is an accurate reflection. Doesn't mean it's up to date, but that's on them, not on us. But it's also accurate comparative data with other districts at this point.
2 years.
Some of it is, not all of it. Some of it is very up to date.
It's supposed to be a live update. It's supposed to be as you update it, they're updated, and it's 2 years behind.
I clicked and I saw Eli's name, who is now a freshman. For middle school?
But I think our like student count looks better. Maybe some attendance looks a
It's
little
definitely
better.
better.
It's better. It's better. It's
Great. Baby steps.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyone have anything else?
I just wanted to draw attention to thank you to those people in this room that have worked hard to build that relationship with DCS. I know Brenda, but I know it's across all of your buildings. And I've been here long enough to know that hasn't always been the case. So when I saw Erica here, I was like, oh no. So I was very happy to see with what she had to say. So thank you all for, we already knew what you're doing to help students and families, but how much better for students and families in the community as a whole that DCS is working as a partner. And so thank you for your role in that. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Barring any other comments? I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mark. Second by Jen. All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Meeting is adjourned.